Hello everyone, Aiden the Aviator here, and welcome to Aviation Breaking News. Today I will be talking about the recent accident involving the Aeroflot Sukhoi Superjet 100, which crash-landed in Moscow on Sunday, May 3rd, 2019. For a quick summary, Aeroflot Flight 1492, a Sukhoi Superjet 100 with 78 people on board, 73 passengers, and 5 crew members, was flying from Sheremetyevo International Airport in Moscow, Russia, to Bremensk Airport, which is also in Russia. The crew had reported that the plane was struck by lightning shortly after takeoff, and they lost all communications with ATC, as well as several flight systems, including the autopilot. The plane turned back to the airport and circled for several minutes to lose some fuel, before attempting to land. However, the plane bounced at least 3 times, where on the third bounce, the plane's landing gear collapsed, and a fire erupted from the fuel tanks. The plane slid down the runway engulfed in flames before eventually sliding sideways off the runway and coming to a complete stop. Several eyewitness videos captured on the ground in the airport or on board the aircraft show the aircraft out of control sliding down the runway. An evacuation of the aircraft commenced immediately after the plane came to a stop. However, due to the intense fire at the rear of the aircraft, only the 2 front exits were used for evacuation, and passengers were frantic to leave the plane. In fact, the evacuation was actually slowed due to many passengers trying to take their overhead luggage out the aircraft with them. The fire was eventually contained, but the entire rear half of the plane was completely destroyed, and unfortunately, 41 people lost their lives, 40 passengers and 1 crew member. 37 people survived the accident, with 11 being injured. This is a seating chart of the Sukhoi Superjet 100, and it marks the locations of every single passenger. The green represents passengers who survived uninjured. The yellow are people who survived with injuries, and all the red are those who died. And you can see that all the deaths are occurred in the rear half of the aircraft, which suggests that they weren't able to get to the front in time before they either were overcome by smoke or burned to death by the flames. This is the aircraft's flight path as shown by the website flightradar24.com, and you can see near the end of the flight that it did one big circle before coming in to attempt to land. This was to burn off any excess fuel that they had to make the plane lighter for landing. However, due to another video that shows the aircraft actually touching down, it suggests that the aircraft was still too heavy to land and had to come in at a very high rate of speed. Let's watch that again, but in slow motion. You can tell when the plane first enters the shot that it's already touched down once, and then it bounces again nose first, bounces into the air again, before touching down again on the main wheels, which causes them to collapse and the fuel tanks to rupture and igniting the fire. This was most likely due to an excess amount of speed that the aircraft had while landing, most likely due to the pilot's inability to dump fuel, and most likely had a lack of instruments to tell them their airspeed. This looks very similar to another accident that actually happened about 10 years ago in Narita, at Narita Airport in Tokyo, FedEx Flight 80. also had a bounce landing, not due to excess speed, of course, but it did bounce a couple times before crashing, and that's the only thing I can think of when I think of seeing this video. So that's all I'm going to cover in today's video. There's not much more information out there at the moment. We're just going to have to wait and see what the investigation has to uncover. Of course, remember that I'm not making my own assumptions on what happened. This is just going on all the information that we all know so far. And this will be definitely an interesting next couple months to see where this investigation goes as to what caused this accident and who's really blamed for it. And so I hope you all enjoyed this video. Feel free to like, subscribe, and check out all my other videos, and I'll see you all in the next video. See you later, guys.